Welcome to this bonus episode of the HIO show. David Savard, before the trade deadline, had been paired with Arber Xhekaj for about 7 games as his partner. Xhekaj played probably the best hockey he's played in the NHL during that span. Rick is a former defenseman. What do you think about that pairing, and how did David Savard, how was he able to help Arber?
Well, I think pairings are very, very important, and that, the guys that play that position understand that sometimes you can get along with guys, sometimes you can't, like me and Chelly. But, the bottom line out of all this is, understanding and reading off each other. And one thing about David Savard, he's consistent in his play, and this is contagious. The other guys see that. He doesn't try a lot of high-risk plays. He tries to keep it simple, moves the puck, and is an intelligent player back there. And, he deserves a lot of credit for a lot of good things that he does. And Arber Xhekaj can feed off of that. He sees the details of the game that he does well. And, he's starting to understand where he is and where he shouldn't be. And this is critical in a development of a young guy, to be paired with somebody like that does a lot of things well. And, it just advances the development of some of these young D when they're able to play with a guy like that and, be able to get the job done, which they're doing right now.
Knuckles? Predictable seems to matter for a lot, especially on defense where you're constantly under pressure, right? And knowing where guys are. And Rick, as a former defenseman, and Chris, as a former player, you can tell me if I'm full of it right now, but I feel like the Canadiens are very good at like the last minute defense, especially guys like David Savard, where, you got a guy with a great chance right in front of the net, get in front of it, block passes at the very last second, but it's all the layers of defense before that they struggle, losing guys, running around in the zone, allowing teams to enter the offensive zone too easily. Little stuff like that adds up over time and creates more chances against. And I think that adding Xhekaj, who is a little bit better at those other things, has also insulated Savard as much as Savard's predictability has insulated Xhekaj. And I think also Savard has calmed down Xhekaj a little bit. You notice after like the post-whistle scrums, he's not so eager to go over the line. Even times where he's, very tempted, it does seem like he's holding back a little bit and learning where the line is. And that's, I think, for Xhekaj's career, extremely important.
Yeah, listen, I liken that to maybe like Peter Svoboda when he came in. They put him with Larry. Larry had him on a leash, and he worked with him, and he was, the father image and all that. I don't know as far as Arber, it's really tough when you have and I know he's a defenseman, he's not a forward, but it's really tough when you have a guy that's willing to do that. And you got to be careful not to screw him up in the head of when he can do it and when he can't. And I know you just can't go out there and do what you want when you want, although I could, because honest to God, we had sick goaltending and we had great penalty killing. So, we weren't so much worried about it. And it wasn't like, I'll just go take a stupid penalty. But back in that day, you had to be able to get the gun out quick and do something. It wasn't like, okay, let me see. Hey, coach, is it okay if I can do this tonight? And I know today it's a little different, but Arber, man, they have such an asset in that guy. He can play the game. And I think Savard, maybe has calmed him down. Maybe getting sent down calmed him down a little bit, and he got scented a little bit. But, you don't want to lose that. Like the other night when he had to, drop his gloves there, you don't want to lose that in the play. And you don't want him question when you can, should I do it here? And the next thing, his nose is on the other side of his face. So you got to be careful with that. But I love this kid. I absolutely love him. And he's such a great asset for this team. Believe me, that that Slavkovsky, he's still a boy, right? You can bet your ass he feels so much more secure with that guy in the lineup than when he's not.
Yeah.
I know Knuckles. Sorry, go ahead, Rick.
Oh no, I was just going to say the opposition knows when Xhekaj's in the lineup, and there's not going to be any cheap shots happening. And it's funny, when I played in Detroit with Joey Kosher and Bobby Probert, those two crazy guys, worse than Knuckles, I think, or close to the same. But anyways, as a defenseman, I never had to worry about somebody coming and doing something stupid, cheap shot wise for me or anybody else on the team, because those guys were just like licking their chops, like, I'm going to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't go on. So Xhekaj brings that really key element of commanding a lot of respect, and he's going to continue to get better, and he's going to pick his spots and understand when it's time to go. But one thing for sure, there's not going to be a lot of guys challenging him, but you want to have him in your lineup, and that's going to do everything to advance himself and his team to become better.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys have April 7th circled against the New York Rangers. I want to get your opinion, Chris. Does Xhekaj have to fight Matt Rempe?
No, he doesn't have to fight him.
Doesn't have to?
And Rempe doesn't have to fight him, but that with Rempe's MO, he'll probably want to fight him. And then he'll probably end up getting dinged again, because the kid has no technique when it comes to fighting. He's wide open, and he's going to get hurt again. I said this the other day on a clip I sent out, but, I love his willingness and all that. And the kid needs some direction. Someone got to work with him and try and get him to use his head a little bit more when it comes to picking his way through fights. You're 6'9" and you got long arms. Pisser. You're a perfect target for me. I'm going to hit you with uppercuts and overhand rights. You're in trouble. Really, I'm like a pit bull. And you saw it with Olivier against him. He knocked the kid out. He hit him with uppercuts, set him up for the overhand right, and the kid was gone. And it's not always that easy, but he's wide open. When you're wide open like that, you're going to get in trouble. So, if we see it, we see it. And I hope Arber wins.
Well, Knuckles, I know you took pride that a coach never had to tell you when to drop the gloves, right, during your career. But I know you told me the story about your game in the AHL before you got called up from the Habs and the fight you got in. I don't know if I'm sure people out there would love to hear it too. It's a great story.
What was that one?
When you got tapped, some guy was calling you a college boy.
Oh yeah. Dave Allison.
And was it Templeton said, "What are you going to do about it?"
No, he didn't. It was against. Okay, yeah, it was against Bam Bam Belanger. It was a fight, and Dave Allison said something like, "Hey, college kid, you ever have a fight before? You ever been in a brawl?" And I said, "Yeah, I've been plenty of brawl. You don't know what a brawl is." And then I went out and fought him the next shift. And then Dave Allison was like, "What?" Like, college kid. He thought I was a wimp, He found out pretty quickly it was not the case.
Quickly, Rick will wrap this up, but I know you said Chris Chelios was your least favorite defense partner. Who was your favorite defense partner?
The Big Bird. Yeah. The Big Bird with his 10-foot reach, we could cover a lot of territory. So any time that we kind of looked like we got in trouble, we could recover just through our ability to take up a lot of space in the D zone.
Well, I was speaking with Arber Xhekaj recently about David Savard and said anybody can look good playing with him. It's just that calmness and where he is and that defensive ability he has. So it seems to be a good fit, and it's worked out well for them. Anyway, thanks for joining us on this HIO bonus episode. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. Go to montrealgazette.com/newsletters to sign up for the Hockey Inside Out newsletter. And of course, you can get all your daily Canadiens coverage at hockeyinsideout.com.